Alrighty guys, hello and welcome back to the show. Got a great cast coming your way today in this sweltering July that we're all experiencing. I don't know about y'all, but I'm in the south of the United States, which is why I can put on a great southern accent just like this and nobody can give me any shit about it. So, got a 5v5 coming your way, going down on, I don't even need to say this really, but it's going down on Neuroxis map generator. Lots of mexes, lots of mass, couple of different neutral sites for the players to reclaim. And speaking of our players, let's go ahead and introduce them. So, I'm very familiar with a lot of these players, so I'll go ahead and introduce them real quick, and then I'll give you my 2 cents about all of their individual play styles. Starting off with Team 1 up at the top, we've got C2118 Freedom, and he's going UEF opening first land. Next, we've got another UEF going by Electrician. We can call him Larry the Cable Guy if you want to, but we can go by Electrician because that sounds way more epic, and he's going UEF. Next, to his east, we've got Stuxnet, my good buddy. He's going Aeon, going first land. And to the south, we've got Son of Abyss, who's going Aeon, opening first land, getting that hydro, got a lot of power generators queued up, you know the drill. And next, we've got Han Solo, who's looking for his Chewbacca, but unfortunately, Chewie is not in this game. But he's going UEF, he's going to be representing the Millennium Falcon aesthetic, and he's going UEF first land. I think I already said he's going UEF. I think I said that twice. But regardless, let's switch over to team number 2. Next, we've got Darabus playing the rearguard air position. He's going Cybran, opening first land. Got that air factory queued up. He's got engineers going for mass. He is the orange player playing the best faction. What else is there to say? To his north, we have got Love Me Some Rice, and he's going Cybran, opening first land. I've talked about this before, but I do love me some rice. I had rice today. It was great. I cooked it with some sesame oil, actually, within the rice cooker. It was actually really good. But moving on, we've got Raw Legit, and he's going a Seraphim, opening first land, second air. And if I can tell you one thing about rice and cooking it with sesame oil in a rice cooker, it is nothing else but raw legit. So check that out. Get yourself a rice cooker, cook it with some sesame oil, and you'll love it. But next we've got Santa Man, and he's going Cybran, opening first land, on his way out to the middle. Best faction, lots of Cybran on team number 2. I can't say that I'm at all disappointed, but let's introduce our last player, and that is Bantha Fodder, who is going for the Star Wars aesthetic there with the Bantha Fodder name. Going Aeon first land, and he's actually going to be facing off against Han Solo, trying to turn Han Solo into Bantha Fodder instead of himself. So we'll see how that actually turns out. But looking at these players, we got a couple little skirmishes that are going on. I do know a good amount about some of these players, so I figured I'd go ahead and talk about some of them. While the initial early game skirmishes are going on, we got a couple labs that are moving around. They're probably going to pick off an engineer, and then they're going to get sodomized by Love Me Some Rice's commander. Maybe, or they're going to make it past Love Me Some Rice's commander, and Love Me Some Rice is going to feel sad. Yep, lost the comm. Okay, let's talk about some of the players. So, played with a lot of these guys before. Stux, Freedom, as well as Han Solo, as well as Son of Abyss. I have not played a whole lot with Electrician. The one that I probably played the most with most recently is going to be Freedom here. And he is, I've never seen him play air, but he's a really, really solid player. 1600, he's kicked my teeth in multiple times whenever I faced off against him in a particular lane. So anytime he's on my team, you know, I just look at him, and with a name like Freedom, he's got to love the F-14 Tomcat. So, you know, I just look at him and I'm like, hey, you can be my wingman anytime. And then I imagine that he has brown hair, and he just goes, bullshit, you can be mine. Actually, that's not right. It's the opposite for all of you Top Gun fans out there. I just completely got the line wrong. Damn it. I was like prepping for that as I was watching this. I had this whole script that was played out for that, and I absolutely butchered it. But Anyway, moving on to team number 2. The 2 players that I'm most familiar with are going to be Santa Man, Love Me Some Rice. I have played with Bantha Fodder a couple of times, but you'll notice that there are a couple of Fight Club players, actually 3 Fight Club players between Raw Legit, Bantha Fodder, and Santa Man on team number 2. Fight Club really loves to go for snipes. And I think that's almost like their trademark as a clan, is they really like to go for, they really like to play for late game. They like to play for strat snipes, and they're pretty good at it too. They've gotten me multiple times, and I've been really unhappy every time that they've gotten me, which is why I can laugh about it now, because I get to watch somebody else deal with it. But they play very heavily for the late game. The couple of players, though, that play for the late game within Fight Club, though, are usually Weck and Hyper 2001. So Santa Man, Bantha Fodder, and Raw Legit usually play a little bit more early game oriented. So I'm really curious to see whether Fight Club actually goes for their late game artillery, strat snipe kind of play. Or if they actually play like more of a stand-up fight kind of game, more of a normal kind of game. But Santa Man going for gun speed and range, that tells me he's going to play for a stand-up fight here at least. He's got some Tech 1 units that are moving in on Han Solo. Bantha Fodder has got this bottom corner pretty well under control. His commander is going to take out a couple of engineers. He's got a couple of Tech 1 tanks that are going to take out this engineer here for Han Solo. Han Solo going for a hydro as well as some forward manufacturing here. Don't know if that's going to go up. If Bantha Fodder moves these tanks up to the north, that will most assuredly not. And Han Solo actually recognizing his vulnerability, going for a Tech 1 point defense actually instead. Which I can't say I blame him for that. And those Aeon tanks are moving north. Could represent a threat here for Han Solo, losing this corner entirely. Well, I mean, he kind of already has lost the corner. This comm has already claimed a lot of mexes down there, is getting a Tech 1 land factory up. Point defense, though, is up for Han Solo. Gonna take out 2 of the tanks. 1 is going to stay. But like we said earlier, damage is already done here for Han Solo. He is pretty much lost the initiative on this southern corner. Up in the northern corner, we have much more of a fight going on between Electrician and who is this? Love Me Some Rice. That's right. How could I forget? How could I forget Rice, man? You know, it's a really solid starch. Really cheap too. But Love Me Some Rice is also struggling to hold his corner. He did have a couple of good T1 units, some good T1 presence there, along with his commander, but some of that was, I think, miss micro on his part, and now his commander is having to retreat here. How many factories does he have? He's got 4 back here in his main base, just the 1 going for Tech 2, actually. So not over for him yet by any means. As you can see, we got a nice stream of Tech 1 units coming in to reinforce this position. But gonna be maybe a little bit more difficult for him, especially as Electrician has that Zeph amp upgrade. Love Me Some Rice only working with a vanilla comm. And talking about some comm action in the middle, we got Stuxnet, who is just absolutely getting beaten down by 2 commanders from Darabus and Raw Legit. Raw Legit with the gun upgrade, Darabus just with the vanilla comm, but it's enough to just wipe that vanilla comm from Stuxnet off the map, say goodbye, and Stuxnet is wishing that he was chocolate at that point instead of vanilla, and he is going to be out of there in this game. 2 comms on 1. And I talked about this in my air tutorial. I'll try it. I'll hopefully remember to link it down in the description below. But Darabus, as the air player, moving his commander forward was the one that made that kill possible. Raw Legit with the gun comm, very helpful, but having 2 commanders there just puts in a kind of a sense of What am I thinking of? Not really awe, but a sense of woe, maybe. Like, woe is me, if you will. Maybe that's not what I'm looking for either. Either way, it's pretty scary to see you as one commander that is unupgraded and a vanilla comm getting attacked by two commanders. Even if both of them are vanilla, and it makes it way worse if Raw Legit has the gun upgrade that he does. So, anyway. Darabus, great play, moving his commander forward, helping to secure that kill on Stux. This is a full share game, though, so not the end of the world at all for team number one, as Electrician going to be the one that inherits Stux's base. Stux as the Aeon. It's weird. I think Stux may have gotten some UEF tech, because this looks like a hybrid Aeon UEF base. So, you know, we'll see how that ends up going. Sano pushing forward with his gun upgrade as well. Squaring off against the Tech 2 point defense. Gonna overcharge that down. Probably could keep on pushing, to be honest. But might be worried about an air retaliation there from team number one, so can't say that I blame him for pulling back. He's done some good damage here. He's gotten a couple of mexes. Main thing, though, is to make sure that you grab reclaim and that you take the territory that you gain. Stake your claim, get some mexes, make sure that you get the reclaim. Stack 1 units, though, are going into an Eruptor PD here for, I believe, formerly Stux, but now it belongs to Son of a Beast. Doing his best slowly alternate impression. Cybran Mantis going to be able to run that one over. And everything is all going hunky-dory here for Sano in the middle. Does he have any artillery in this mix? I think he did at one point. I think a lot of it's down. He's going to grab a factory. This Tech 1 response from Son of Abyss getting a little too close to these Mantis. Going to take a lot of unnecessary casualties from the Mantis as those Aurora get in too close. And that's going to give Sano another window to maybe take out another factory or just shift up, take out some of these engineers up here. Meanwhile, down at the south, we've got another 2-on-1 happening as Raw Legit has teamed up with Darabus. Darabus now with a gun upgrade of his own. These two guys, Raw Legit and Darabus, just holding hands, pushing down the middle, taking out comm after comm. And I think Son of Abyss has now become the son of his own bitch there. Has only a couple more shots, and that's going to be the end of our red Aeon player. Raw Legit, though, needs to be careful here because not all of the units or the PD are going to die. Specifically, this T2 PD down here, which is covered by the blinding light. But Raw Legit needs to get out of there because he is going to be taking Tech 2 PD fire. Or maybe not. Wait, where'd it go? How'd it die? Okay, I'm not sure how that died. Maybe Raw Legit overcharged it. But either way, Raw Legit's comm not in a super healthy position here. Down at about 3,000 HP. Having to outmaneuver. We got some ASF now coming out, as well as a broadsword now from Freedom, our resident Tomcat pilot. There are some ASF there from Darabus they're trying to cover, but it's not going to be enough. Raw Legit goes down to the broadswords. And Fight Club getting a little bit of their own medicine there with an air snipe there from Freedom. Darabus not quite up to the challenge there. You can see he's a little bit behind on air. He's only got a couple of ASF out. C2118 Freedom has quite a few more ASF out than Darabus does. Darabus trying to get an air grid online right now. He's going for another ion reactor, but only 2 factories up right now. Same with Freedom, but Freedom very heavily assisting his HQ. with 2 Tech 3 power generators, already going for the reclaim on his Tech 2 power generators. This is a great play. If you're playing air, you always want to reclaim your redundant power generators as much as you can, especially because you're playing air. You've got a little bit more downtime. Air does not require as much APM, at least in my opinion, as the other slots. So always want to try and prioritize reclaiming some of the early power, like your Tech 1 power generators. Oh, these are all power storage. And then your Tech 2 power generators, which is really, really good to see. But 3 comms down in the first 14 minutes. Not too shabby of a game so far. As Bantha, we talked about earlier how he had kind of secured this side, and Han Solo's been trying to contest it, but Bantha Vodder's got a good hold on it, and it's been very difficult for Han Solo to contest. As you can see, Han Solo going for a fire base here, but because of the mobile missile launchers, having to go for a lot of tactical missile defense to just try and keep this fire base alive, try and keep his presence active in the southern side of the map. He does have some Tech 1 units, a couple Tech 2 units even. I see a Skyboxer in there. A couple Skyboxers, actually. No Tech 2 tanks. But a lot of it is built around these Tech 2 PD that are kind of set up in sort of a perimeter fashion, but at risk of being overrun here by the blazes from Bantha Fodder, which he has a lot of. And this is, I'm actually looking at doing, I've got a script for my first science video since I've been back. So this will be my first science video in like a year, maybe. But part of it, it's going to be a lot of different topics, but part of it is going to be around point defense. And what just happened illustrates one of the points that I was going to make in the video. As even Santaman coming in to help clean out some of Han Solo's units here. And there is a parashield. There are a couple Skyboxers in this mix, but almost everything else is just Tech 1 units. So these blazes, you know, could really blaze the trail on through. Pun definitely intended. But what they're going to struggle with a little bit more is this broadsword. So Freedom abusing his air advantage here, trying to help out his buddies on the flank that are struggling. We've even got a Harb in here from Bantha Fodder that is going to go down to this broadsword. That's not what you want to see. Whenever you have Tech 3 land at 17 minutes, you do not want to see your Tech 3 assault pods getting taken down by gunships. I would be absolutely livid at my air player if this was happening right now. And we don't see all the chat. Maybe all these guys are on comms, but I'm sure Bantha Fodder is not super happy about the fact that he's losing Harbs and Tech 2 tanks to a broadsword. Adarabus trying to fight back here, but it's going to cost him all of his air to take out that one broadsword, as all of his ASF that he had produced currently get just absolutely obliterated by Freedom's air. Freedom playing a great game whenever it comes to air. Only taking fights that he knows he can win, just like this one right here. He's going to pick up another 3 ASFs there from Darabus. And this early in the game, at 17 minutes, you know, you might think, oh, it's only 3 ASF, whoop-de-fucking-do. But 3 ASF, man, at 17 minutes, that's something to think about as far as losing. That's something you want to keep. You know, 40, 50 minutes into the game, you lose 3 ASF. Yeah, that's fine. I can produce 3 ASF in 5 seconds. But this early on in the game, it's all about those little engagements that can help establish air superiority into the late game. And Freedom's doing a great job of that. Only problem is Freedom can only kind of just stop the bleeding here. Like Han Solo is still very hurt from the loss of mexes that Bantha Fodder has put onto him. Electrician is coming down to support with some Tech 1 units, but Electrician has his own problems up here as well with Love Me Some Rice, as well as Sano pushing in the middle. Sano with some Ilshivas pushing in the middle against a couple of Percivals. Wow, okay, Tech 3 out there for Electrician. So Percival should be able to cut down the Ilshivas pretty easily, but the fact of the matter is that Electrician's having to play a lot of different areas of the map at the same time. And this is not a map with narrow causeways. This is a map that is very wide, has a lot of avenues of attack, and just whenever you shift all your Percivals over to this side, Saname comes over and brains you with a folding chair over here and says, "Thank you very much for moving your army out of the way for me. I'll take this base as a consolation prize." Down at the bottom, Titan out from Han Solo. So Han Solo is at least the Tech 3 land. Several Harvs, though, out from Bantha Fodder. Gonna make it pretty difficult here. Or even with Electrician's help, it's gonna be difficult for Han Solo to make anything happen here. But as Freedom still making it work. Freedom coming in with the gunships, dangling them out like a prize, forcing Darabus to engage with his ASF onto the gunships, and then using his own ASF to just absolutely wipe the floor with Darabus's air. Very well played. And then he's got another gunship coming in, and there is a flak. There are a couple of flak artillery here. So it's not like that's the easiest base to take from air in the world, but get 3-4 more gunships and that's your prize. That's your prize right there as the air player. You can take out that southern base. And now Santaman struggling a little bit here. He's got a lot of factories, but no Tech 3 units that I can see. He's got a loyalist, actually. I take that back. I thought Sano was... Okay, no. Sano is Cybran. Oh, that's right. He inherited this Seraphim base from earlier. So he does have a couple of Othams here. Does have a sniper bot in the background. But needs to deal with these Percivals now. This number of Othams and Loyalists with the support of the sniper bot should be able to take out the Percivals, or at least have them step back and think about taking this fight another day. That's what Electrician is doing. He's actually pulling back into reinforcements, causing Sano to lose a lot of his siege tanks here. And that was almost it there for Sano with Tech 3 defenses. He's only got 1 or 2 more siege tanks. Does still have the sniper bot back here. Does have a brick as well. But if Electrician plays this right, this base could go down. As long as he gets these Percivals involved, takes out this brick, which goes down. Does have 1 more brick coming out. Even has some Cougars there for AA. Not like Darabus has any time at all to devote for gunships, but he's still got the Cougars there. Yeah, that base gonna go down. Gonna go down to the Percivals. That's gonna be a Tech 3 land factory, you know? That's not something you at all want to give up. And there's a good reclaim field here as well. Lots of Percivals, lots of Othams that have died in this reclaim field. Just needs to get these engineers. You can see some of them from Freedom even, as he's got a forward reclaim factory up here. This is a great play as an air player. It's something I try to do and I almost always forget, but dropping these little factories up front as an air player, this gives you so much mass. Just getting some engineers out onto the front line, it gives you so much of a mass advantage from a reclaim perspective. And I don't think he's using them right now to their best extent, but just the fact that they're there and that they're able to reclaim, you can already see that against Darabus, he is Freedom way ahead whenever it comes to mass. So Darabus pulling in about 215, 230 mass per tick, I believe I saw last time. And Freedom tripling his reclaim and pulling in, I think, over 300. Yeah, 343. It's just these little things, man. Like, load up a Tech 1 transport. Load up a Tech 1 transport with Tech 1 engineers and just drop like 2 or 3 factories around the front line. Have them produce Tech 1 engineers. And then anytime your ally takes a fight that is even slightly favorable, try and grab the reclaim. Yeah, your ally's gonna hate you, but, you know, then you can put it into stuff like this. These gunships, which are just absolutely destroying team number 2 right now. Like, they're about to lose this corner and a Monkey Lord, or at least a Monkey Lord construction site, because of these gunships. And Darabus is just like, can't do anything. You can see his ASF there. He's not even trying to respond because he knows he's gonna lose. I mean, this is what it's all about. Love me some rice. Dies? I think Love Me Some Rice gave up. And Control Kate. Alright. You know? Yeah, so Love Me Some Rice, bemoaning the fact that they lost air, and has now decided to throw in the towel. I mean, I get where he's coming from. This is a rough spot to play from. You know, you can look at this and think, oh, they've got, you know, roughly equal territory, but there is one very, very key portion of the game that Team 2 is just not even contesting, really, and that's air. Like, we can even look at Darabus's ASF count. 66. What is Freedom's ASF count at? He's at 109. So he's got 33% more ASF than Darabus does. And he's got 10 or so gunships that are bumping around, just causing all sorts of havoc. That is, that's rough to play against. And I get, you know, from Darabus's perspective, like, this kind of sucks. You know, you're doing your best. You're trying to play air as best as you can and protect your teammates, but, you know, the other guy's just better than you, and it kind of sucks. But you got to keep trying. Like, you can't just give up. Santaman moving forward with the Monkey Lord. And I don't see another experimental out for team number 1. Team 2, surprisingly, with way more mass. So team 2 being the bottom team with 150k more mass than team number 1. Very impressive. And so that is translated into this Monkey Lord. Unfortunately, though, as soon as these broadswords, as you can see, they're already posturing, decide to go for this Monkey Lord, it's dead and done. And there is very little that Darabus can do to stop it. He's actually making strats. Why would you make strats right now? You need to be you need to be scaling all of your air as much as possible into ASF. I mean, maybe there's a couple of different schools of thought. Maybe it's, you know, I'm down, might as well try and build a strat and make do with what I can do. But the way I look at it is, an air player, your number one responsibility is to keep your team from getting taken out by air, just like this Monkey Lord is about to have happen from these broadswords. As soon as these broadswords actually start moving, there we go. Ping comes out. Freedom moves the broadswords. They go in. And there's a lot of mobile flak here, and that's going to be very, very helpful. But just this absolute decimation from Freedom. Jesus. He doesn't even get all the broadswords. Most of them are still alive. Focusing down the MAA. It's going to be all of the Tech 3 units dead. It's going to be this entire army dead. Now they shift their focus to the Monkey Lord. And it's just, you can't push into this with land against this kind of air. It's impossible. Derbis is going to send more ASF into the meat grinder. That monkey going to go down though. It's not going to be able to hit Han Solo's commander. All it's going to do is drop a little reclaim gift there for Han Solo. Some of the Harbs, though, make it into a forward base to try and take out a nuke defense, actually. Is Team 2 building a nuke? Do they have a nuke? Oh, they do have a nuke. Okay. So nuke from Derbis almost done. Oh, shit. Nuke from Bantha Fodder as well. Why the hell are y'all building nukes? You're getting absolutely obliterated in the air, and you want to build nukes. And you can already see they've got nuke defense, okay? This one's not loaded. It'll be loaded very soon, though. This one is loaded, so that's not going to work. Han Solo, I mean, he doesn't really, so his base doesn't have a nuke defense, but, you know, Han Solo, no offense, buddy, but he hasn't really been that important this game so far. He's really just been a stopgap here for Bantha Fodder to make sure that Bantha Fodder doesn't, you know, turn him into Bantha Fodder. That's going to be a nuke going out there from Derbis. Derbis going for Freedom's air grid, but Freedom has a nuke defense here that's already loaded. Yeah, I mean, everywhere Derbis turns to try and get the upper hand on Freedom, Freedom seems to win here. Which is, it's tough. You know, it's, what are you gonna do? I can tell you what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't build a nuke launcher, but I would really try and just outscale my air grid, especially because he's on 2 bases. He's got 2 bases. You can focus one of them on Tech 3 land or T2 PD or something like that, and then just scale the fuck out of your air production and delete Freedom and send him to the Stone Age. But right now, you cannot contest. Freedom's got 222 ASF. Derbis is at 29. Yeah, 10 to 1. 10 to 1 odds there. Derbis trying to go for a distraction play here as he's got Corsairs circling up top. Yeah, if he goes for an SMD, maybe that might be worth it. He's got a good number of Corsairs here, and there's a Flayer. There's not a ton of static AA. They're going to go after a mechs, of course. Then they're going to get hit by the SAM. And then what are they going after? Air grid? HQ? Question mark? HQ maybe? No. They're going after... Well, they are going after the air grid, but they're only going to take out a power generator and a factory. So... Okay. I mean, I guess good idea, but... just not great prioritization. So you sent all those Corsairs, you got a mechs, a factory, and a Tech 3P gen. You know, it's not great. One thing I do need to see though from Freedom is Freedom needs to start crushing here. Like Freedom has had decisive air control for a while. And this is something I struggle with a lot is whenever I've got air control, like what do I do now? Okay, so that's going to be a nuke out from Bantha Fodder, actually, going after Han Solo's base. Han Solo has an SMD, not loaded. This one to the north. What kind of range does this have? Don't think that's going to get it. We'll see. It's close, but I don't think that's going to grab it. See what happens, though. I think Han Solo's going to lose his base, though. Yeah. Han Solo's base is going down. Ba-boom! Love to see a good, beautiful nuclear launch go off. Just what I love to smell in the morning. Call me Robert Oppenheimer because I like to smell nukes going off. That was such a douchey thing to say. Okay. But anyway, Freedom needs to now figure out what to do with his air. Okay? He's got air control. He needs to do something with it. Couple of options open to him right now. And I realize I'm focusing a lot on the air game right now, but that's really where there's a lot of potential for this game to move. Because this land push is not going to do very much. These are Tech 1 units going up against Tech 3 mexes. A couple of Tech 1 bombers, hopefully, are going to be able to take that out. But the air game is where a lot of this game is going to be decided. At least I think. I don't know. Maybe these... Nah, these Percival's not really going to be able to do a whole hell of a lot. They're going to run into bricks. There's a couple snipers back here as well. There are artillery, which are the... You know, you want to talk about a great unit to deal with Percivals. It's Tech 1 mobile artillery. They've got good damage. You can build a lot of them. So it makes it hard for Percivals to deal with them from like their high alpha damage. So they don't shoot very fast, but they shoot once and they shoot really hard. So lots of little units are actually pretty good against Percivals. You can see a lot of these Percivals actually getting whittled down here. Another air fight. Lost pretty decisively. Got another nuke out from Darabus that will get shot down. Like, why keep nuking, man? Just hold those things for... I mean, you almost need to play the point defense nuke game here. Like, just leave your nukes loaded whenever you see large amounts of experimentals or something. Oh, shit. Actually, Darabus getting defeated by mass strat run there from Freedom. All right, so there's one thing that you can do. Whenever I was talking about how air has the power to move this game, that is one of the options, is large amounts of strategic bombers. That's probably the cheapest and quickest way, but it's also the most risky because they can die. As the UEF, another thing that you can do is build satellites, which are really solid. Great at killing perimeter mexes that are already upgraded to Tech 3. Or you can go for RD. So those are kind of the main things. You either go for strats to snipe, which is what we saw Freedom do there. You go for satellites, or you go for artillery. And we saw Freedom go for strats there, use them very well, crush his air opponent. Now the gunship's moving in. There are a good amount of SAMs here, so at least Team 2 recognized that, hey, we're losing air pretty terribly. So we'll at least build some SAMs to provide some level of AA. Unfortunately, though, you know, one SAM, as you can see, can get absolutely wiped out by broadswords. We have another nuke. Where's this one going? This one's going after... Okay, this one's going after Han Solo's base. Guess what? There's an SMD here. Guess what? That SMD is fucking loaded! Why do we keep... We know they have SMDs, guys! What are we doing here? What are we doing? What? How'd you... Just because you have a nuke loaded doesn't mean it's like, oh my god, I must launch it right now. Jeez. Just hold it for whenever there's like a big amount of experimentals coming your way. Okay? Like this. Nuke that. You got a GC, a Fat Boy, and a bunch of units. Nuke that. God. Oh my god. All right. Sano's in trouble here. He does have a mega. That mega must stay alive. There's already a GC that died here. I have no idea when the hell that happened, but it happened one of the times whenever they were nuking into an SMD, I think. All right, Fat Boy has ventured too far into enemy territory. Electrician is not reacting. Electrician's Fat Boy is dead. That is huge for this defense, because that means that this megalith can now do the entire defense on its own. It doesn't need really any help, because it's going to take out this GC, and then from here you've only got Tech 1 Artie, and you've even got another mega back behind, and a GC coming over from Bantha Fodder. Yeah, this push is done. And that is a lot of mass that is now up for reclaim for Sano. And he has got the mother load of all engineers to be able to grab that reclaim. Assuming he can keep them alive from the handful of burstables that are walking into his base. Okay. All right, good land push here from Bantha. Skirting some of the Tech 3 PD here from Han Solo. Gonna try and get into the SMDs. These guys just have a hard on for nukes, man. Like, they don't want to do anything else. They just want to nuke. That's it. This is like a freshman frat boy. One-dimensional mind. Only wants to do one thing. Like, goes to a party. You know what's on that dude's mind. And it's not, let me think about how philanthropic I can be at this party. I can guarantee you that. And Team 2 is obsessed with being able to land a single nuke. And they can't, and they're not going to. Like, this is not looking too bad. They might be able to take out these SMDs, but there is so much PD here, and it took them so much just to get to this point that both the SMDs are going to stay alive. And guess what? They're going to think, oh yeah, we killed off the SMDs. One of them is going to launch a nuke. Actually, one of the nukes is dead. Thank God. Thank God we're not going to launch another nuke against that. Okay, but this is great. Sano, securing the reclaim with the megas, got all of his engineers going out here. This is the motherfucking load here as far as reclaim goes. We got 3 GCs. We have no Fat Boy. I thought we had a Fat Boy. We have no Fat Boy, but we have a lot of bricks, Percivals. Like, this is insane from a reclaim perspective. That is absolutely huge. As long as he has the build power, which he has 3 fucking bases, so I hope he has the build power for it. He's going to put it into something big, and that's what it is. He has got a Scathis going, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some artillery going. Even though he's losing air, he's not done. He's not ready to go back into this good night. He's going to try and win this game all by himself with Bantha Father's help. Tech 1 bombers coming out. Not really going to do a whole lot. They're going after this mega. They're going after this mega, but you know, they're going to do absolutely nothing. I think Freedom had just made those previously and was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. Might as well send them at an experimental. That's what he did, and it did nothing, which is kind of what I would expect. What do we have as far as late game answers here from... Okay, we've got a satellite up here for Freedom. Not using it yet. Second one, about a third of the way done. So lots of good options for team number 1 to hit back on this late game kind of thing. Have they scouted the Scathis? Is the question. Yes, they 100% have. So this is priority number 1. And Freedom has got a bunch of strats, and I am almost certain that those strats are going to be headed for that Scathis. And that Scathis is rapidly approaching finished. It is over 2/3 of the way done. Last time we checked in on it, it was about a third. And that was a couple minutes ago. So, had to pause to clear my throat. Oh no, that's disastrous. Great play by Sano. Very bad slip there from Freedom. He's gonna lose a lot of strats there because his ASF are out of position. His strats are too far forward. That's that sucks. As you see, Stuck's saying strat and sat the scath. But unfortunately, all of the strats are dead. So, and Sano actually getting aggressive here. Got 2 megaliths in tow. Unfortunately, he's leaving a little bit of a vacuum. Electrician might take advantage of this. I don't know. Electrician has already fed a lot of mass to Team 2 into this. And holy shit, as you can see, Team 2. Damn. 2.3 million versus 1.86 million mass. You would almost never know by looking at the game. But Team 2 is absolutely crushing it from the mass side of things. And Scathis is now up there from Sano. That is where all of this mass is gone. And it is going after Air Grid? Han Solo? Please don't tell me it's going after the SMD. Like, guys, this is like a fucking broken record, man. Okay, good. It's going for the Air Grid. I was going to be so unhappy if it was going for the SMD. So like, oh my god. Literally, a freshman frat boy. Rolls into a party. Only one thing on his mind. Okay, but, well, I was going to say this is pretty bad using it as point defense, but it actually just wiped out like a third of Han Solo's army there, so not too bad. And one of my viewers was in a frat whenever you were in college, and you're for some reason offended by what I'm saying, just think about, especially if you're a dude, just think about first time you went to a college party and tell me I'm wrong. I wasn't even in a frat. I can tell you, first time I went to a college party, I only had one thing on my mind. And that was donating as much money to the cause as possible. Yeah, that was it. That air grid looking more and more peaked. Strat snipe going in on the Scathis. C2118 Freedom. Using the chain guns to plow the road. Cutting down Sandeman's ASF, and that Scathis is out of there. Strategic bombing run successful. Could have called that a military operation. Could have called that Desert Storm. The way that these ASF are trying to evade those surface-to-air missiles. Except they're not being super successful. Yeah, if you guys want like a really, really cool video to watch, if you're curious at all on what air combat looks like, go look up, I think it's on YouTube. Just search for Air Force pilot evades surface-to-air missiles, Desert Storm. I believe it was Desert Storm. Crazy video. It was released on a Freedom of Information Act request, and it was a, I believe it was an F-15 pilot that evaded something like 5 or 6 surface-to-air missiles. Whenever they were running a bombing run over Baghdad, and they got back, and the technicians were checking out his plane and realized that his flares and his chaff deployment mechanisms had jammed. So the only way that he was able to evade those SAMs was because he was the ultimate badass whenever he was flying. Really, really cool video if you guys want to go check it out. Maybe it'll make you want to be a fighter pilot. Maybe want to be a fighter pilot, but I'm too tall.
Strategic launch detected.
Oh my god, we got another nuke. Oh, well, okay. So at least this one will land. At least this one will explode. Maybe it gets this Tech 3 Max, I don't know. We'll see. But it will land, it will explode. We're making progress in the nuclear game there for team number 2. As this one lands, doesn't even kill the mechs. Oh my god. What was even there? What was there? What were they trying to nuke? Did I miss something? I don't know. Okay, but GC getting tangled up. 1 megalith gone down. This megalith should be able to clean up the GC. Should. As long as it doesn't get off axis to it. Alright, that GC is down. Mega now engaging the Percivals. Mega very low on health. Still able to dish out a lot of damage though as Tech 1 bombers move in to take it out. Sano trying to contest air, but Freedom just once again on the ball whenever it comes to air. It's gonna be a Mega going down. Okay, Scathis went down earlier. Sano now has another one on the way. It's about halfway done. We have a 2 versus 3 at 48 minutes into the game. Sano now going for a full Cybran Turtle, which is, you know, Probably the worst turtle that you could go for. It's like a turtle made out of paper mache, but, you know, I guess it's better than nothing. What other tech does he have available to him? He has Seraphim tech available to him. He even has Tech 3 Seraphim tech available to him. I would take Tech 2 Seraphim point defense over Cerberus. We have a GC going down to a couple of obese children on the west side of the map. The GC will be able to bully a lot of artillery into submission before succumbing to the teacher's pets that are back in the background behind the artillery. Even a satellite being committed here to take out the GC. That is going down though. That is a mass gift. Speaking of mass, Team 2 only up by about 500,000 mass now. Down from, I think, like 1.5 million earlier. Am I misremembering? I might be misremembering because that sounds obscenely huge. I feel like it was more, though, than 500,000 earlier. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm misremembering. Either way, both teams have collected a lot of mass. Can confirm. Can also confirm that this GC is also going to die. Pro tip. If you don't have air, and if you know there are a bunch of fat boys on the other team, don't just send lone experimentals into them. They will not win. They will lose. As you can see here. We got some more reclaim here there for electrician. Team 1 though has a lot of work to do. It's an artillery shot. That is coming from... Oh, hello. All right. Bantha fodder going for artillery of his own. Got an emissary up. Second one almost halfway done. Scathis. The sequel. 7,500 HP out of 9,000 done. So what does that work out to? 3/4? Maybe a little more? Ugh, okay. Scathis, the sequel. The Scathining. Almost done. We have an emissary as well firing that has taken out a lot of Freedom's air production. Here, not really that Freedom cares because he's got supplementary air grids elsewhere and a ton of strats. And for shits and giggles, let's see how many ASF he has now. 218. Okay, so yeah, he actually doesn't have that many more ASF, which is good because, you know, he doesn't need them. He's going for strats now. Just solid. Solid. It's cool. Cool, 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 cool. And you know, these satellites, I haven't really seen them do a ton. So I think they're going after these perimeter mexes now, which is what they should have done like 10 minutes ago. So I think the first one that we saw was up like 10 minutes ago. They could bag all of these engineers so quickly. And those engineers, well, they are pinned right now, but are not pinned anymore as far as mass goes. Because the Scathis is now done. This is the other thing with satellites. Try and kill build power and shields whenever you can as well. And Freedom doing a pretty good job of that. It is going to be a losing battle, but again, what you're trying to do with satellites is force your opponent to spend more APM trying to stop you than you're spending trying to hit him. So, as long as that works out, you're going to win. But Scathis is up. Scathis 2, the Scathining, is happening. That kind of rhymes. And that's going after Freedom's SMDs here, maybe? We're back to trying to Back to trying to launch nukes again. Yeah, that's going after the SMDs. And they will get them eventually, especially with the emissaries. But we have a whole bomber wing tasked to take out this Scathis. Now, Sano, ASF in a much better position this time, is going to take out some of the strats before they lose their loads. See how many of them actually make it through. It's going to be second Scathis down. All right, turns out the sequel was about as good as the first one, and it launched like 2 volleys or something. And now Freedom has his own nuke launcher, and Team 2 has a nuke defense here. Okay, that is fully loaded. Where's the nuke going? Is it going after the air grid? It's got to be going after the air grid. Sano does not have SMD. How can you not have SMD? You have literally launched 5 nukes into SMD. And it's actually going after this base up here. You have launched 5 nukes into SMD. And you don't have your own. Ah. I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words. Anyway, that landed. What are these called? Corsairs now going after the obese children that are in the yards, causing a ruckus here for Santaman's forward base. And to be fair, like, I'm giving Santaman a very hard time here, but he's playing 3 bases right now. He's having to deal with air. He's having to deal with the shitload of land. Like, he's. This is a lot, okay? I would not be able to do what Santaman is doing right now. So I'm giving him a lot of shit, but it's because I can, because I'm watching and I'm not playing. So shut up. Okay. Point defense being set up, going to be obliterated by the point defense. And this is how you should use your nukes. Thank you. Unless those fat boys move, they're dead. Are they moving? No, they're not moving. Okay. See, this is how you should use your nukes. Okay? Stop launching your nukes into SMD. I really hope my mic is not blowing out right now with the with me yelling. I don't think I usually yell like this, but I'm very frustrated. As Sano's base actually getting overrun by Tech 1 mobile artillery. He's got Tech 2 PD to try and respond to it. Satellites as well, causing issues. What are these shields at? Okay, so these are the top level shields. Okay, so Sano did remember to upgrade his shields. Remember, kids, if you're playing Cybran, make sure you upgrade your Tech 3 shields, because there is another tech level that you will need to upgrade to. Your Tech 3 engineers will only build ED4 shields. You need to upgrade them to ED5. The ED5 shields are still weaker than a lot of the other factions. Actually, I think all of the factions. But they're at least better than ED4. Okay. Let's see. Second emissary now up here for Bantha Fodder. And it is very well shielded. He's also got a lot of AA around it as well, which is good. Because he's seen the movie Scathis 1, and he's seen the sequel, Scathis 2, The Scathening. And, you know, he doesn't want that to happen to his movie. He wants it to perform well at the box office. I get it. He's putting a little bit better budget into it, getting a little bit more special effects. Like, look at this. Look at this. Look at the Aeon shields. They're so shiny. They've got a lot of good special effects. They probably brought in Industrial Light and Magic to do some of the special effects and props. You know, they're on top of their game whenever it comes to budget. I still think that the Emissary is the worst of the Tech 3 artillery. You will not change my mind. But it's better than no Tech 3 artillery. As air comes in to eviscerate the restorers here for Bantha Fodder. Bantha Fodder in the Tech 3 air game as well. At this point, I'm almost like, you're at 57 minutes, man. Y'all have never won air. You've never had air. You will never have air. I'm kind of like, just stop trying. Who died? Han Solo. To an emissary shot. Holy shit. All right, well. I'll just, you know, take my massive foot and remove it from my even bigger mouth on the whole emissary is the worst Tech 3 artillery thing. Because obviously the fact that it's the most accurate Tech 3 artillery paid off there. But that gives Freedom another base. He goes and he strats Bantha Fodder. So strats making their way down through Santaman's base. Skirting the Tech 3 AA nets. We have a nuke now out from Freedom. And where is Sanoscom? Sanoscom is right here. Sanoscom has the good stuff. It has teleport and laser. Where is it teleporting to? That nuke is going to land. Is it going here? Oh, it's going here. Guess who's here? Electrician. Unfortunately, that ain't going to work. It's a good effort. It's a good effort. It was a good effort. It was a good effort. It was a good effort. That's all I'll say. Okay. All right, kids. What did we learn? Don't launch nuclear missiles into SMD. Over and over again. I mean, really what this came down to was air. Like that's what this entire game came down to. Freedom, MVP, 100%. Absolutely crushed air and kept crushing the entire game. He killed 2 Scathis, multiple commanders. You know, it's tough whenever you're playing behind in air like that. I think that Team 2 still had more mass. So, you know, they had a lot of good ideas, but didn't really translate them into something that was going to win them the game. And yeah, I'm trying to think like last words. I think this kind of development up here, these factories and everything, 100% inexcusable. I think Sano, instead of going for Scathis to the Scathining, probably should have gone for Crush Land in the north, instead of letting this develop, which ended up taking a lot of time and a lot of attention from him. But ultimately what it all goes back to is air. You know, Derebus lost air early, and there are ways to get air back, but suiciding ASF to kill gunships, that ain't it, Chief. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed the cast. I enjoyed it. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.